Hi friends, welcome to A Glow in the Dark. I'm Carissa Kurowski, and today I want to discuss why you might be holding on to an illness with an iron fist. When I was getting towards the end of my struggles with mental illness, I started to ask myself some really deep and uncomfortable questions, and one of them that came to me was, who am I without this illness? Who am I if I'm not depressed? Who am I if I'm not anxious? Who am I if I'm confident and not worried about what other people think all the time? And that was really scary. That seems kind of silly, but your identity has been wrapped in that illness for however many years. In my case, 15. So for 15 years, being depressed was a huge part of who I was as a person. So the idea of not having that as part of my identity scared the crap out of me. And here's how I began to look at it. When women leave domestic violence situations, it takes them an average of 7 times to leave a relationship. 7 times! That means for some of them, it's above 7. That's crazy. So I just started to kind of compare the similarities, and whenever I would feel like I was healed and then I'd go back into it and then leave and then go back into it, I just reminded myself of that statistic, and that you're trying is the point. You keep moving forward, and even when you go backwards, you're still trying to find a way out of it and move forward with your life. Because you're literally changing your brain. You are rewiring thought patterns, behaviors, who you are as a person. You're completely changing who you are as a person for however many years. That's really hard. It's insanely hard. So I just kind of use that to remind myself, like, okay, it doesn't mean I'm stuck. I can keep moving forward. Another kind of sick thought that came to me was that I wouldn't have an excuse if I didn't have my illness. Not that I think, especially having a mental illness, is an excuse or anything, but some of the talk that came into my head was, well, if you still are dysfunctional and you still struggle with things, what does that mean if you're not depressed? Does that just mean that you're a low-functioning person, or you just have that kind of personality? What if I don't have that excuse to stay in bed when I'm really, really depressed? Again, it's not an excuse, but this is just that thought pattern that went through my head. And I think that all of us like to think we're unique, but especially when you have an illness, I'm willing to bet most of us have at least a few thoughts regarding, well, I'm unique, there's nobody else going through this, which is true. Nobody else is going through it the way you are. That's very true. But especially I think if you're in your younger years as a teenager, it's really easy to get involved in that thought process that you're so unique and special that nobody could possibly understand what you're going through, and nobody is going through what you're going through, and you're just really special. I'm hoping this isn't coming off as negative. I'm not trying to make it that way, but I'm just speaking from experience. When I was in my younger years, I just had no room for receiving help or finding a way out of it, because I just felt like I was the only one experiencing it, and yeah. So anyway, that's one of the kind of more dysfunctional thought processes that you get in, is that you're just really special and unique, and no one's gonna understand, and you're the only person that is experiencing these issues. And I think sometimes we get into those thought processes not because we're being egotistical, but because we want that comfort and we want that excuse to let us know that something's wrong. We want some sort of reasoning as to why we're feeling the way we're feeling. And also being terrified that that could be normal. Now that I'm on the other side of everything, how I was feeling was not normal. But I was terrified that it was. I was terrified that everybody was experiencing what I was experiencing, and there was no way out of it. Which is kind of funny because that's opposite of from where I was as a teenager, right? I don't know. Anyway, important question to ask yourself, who am I without this? And on the other side, once you've kind of conquered some of that fear in asking yourselves that question, the follow-up question is, who could I be? Where would I be, and who could I be without all of these things holding me back? And those are the things that you want to focus on. Those are the things that you are going to be. You are already. So, hope that was helpful as always. And I love you guys. Thanks for watching my channel. I'll catch you next time.